It is a beautiful day right here in Zimbabwe, Harare. I hope I find you well. And also, it is a public holiday. I hope you are relaxing and looking forward to go back to work tomorrow. And thank you very much for the support that you are giving to Sly Media. Like our Facebook page, and every time we go live you will get a notification. And also remember to share with your friends so that they will never miss some of our interesting and informative program. And as you have requested, you have always asked, where is Prophet Talent Madungwe? And as we have also said, there is no reason of bringing a Prophet Talent Madungwe to the studio if he doesn't have anything new, if he doesn't have anything to say, because as you remember, Prophet Madungwe has some developing stories. Remember, he is the first person to say, I went to heaven and met God. Remember, he also said God visited Zimbabwe. Later on, he was to tell the world that he has been appointed God's advisor and also the second in command of the heavenly army. If you have not heard much about him, this is the man who also said to the world, they have arrested Satan and kept him in the captive for 30 days, which was later extended with another 10 days. And his judgment was his powers were reduced. And also remember, at one point, Prophet Madungwe threatened to stop the sun. And as I've said, it becomes a developing story. And every time he has something, we will also invite him to the studio so that he can share with us. And today he is back to talk to you and me, because he is back from heaven. And also the time that he was not here, he was in heaven. Let's say welcome, Prophet.
Welcome. Thank you.
Long time.
Long time.
You have been in heaven.
Yes, I once visited heaven recently, so I'm back again.
But how come every time when you decide or when you are called, are you invited, or you just said after a certain period you're supposed to go back to heaven?
It differs. Sometimes I wait for the invitation, sometimes I just visit when I feel like I like to visit heaven. But I have some official visits where I will be invited.
Okay.
So it's in two ways. Sometimes I wait for the invitation, that is officially visitation.
Who invites you?
The heavenly delegates, God, Christ, that's the heavenly delegates.
Okay.
They invite me, but sometimes if I just wish to, or I'm willing to visit heaven, I just visit heaven.
Okay. So on this one, now we are back from heaven.
Yeah, that is.
Was it an official visit? Were
yeah,
you
that
invited
was.
or?
I was invited, and whenever I'm invited, I'm going for the meeting.
So you had a meeting in heaven?
Yes, but if I just go alone or without being invited, it's just a visit. Maybe for the heavenly army task, or other tasks.
Okay, so what was the purpose of this visit?
At this visit, we were discussing about the heavenly army and some earthly issues. So I was invited to attend the meeting so that I can also give my opinion about the earthly things.
Okay. On those earthly things that you're talking about, was Zimbabwe on the agenda?
Yeah, Zimbabwe was also on the agenda, even the United States of America, even UK. We talked about it. Okay,
so let's indigenize it. And let's go local. What was about Zimbabwe that you're talking about?
Okay, we only touched about the elections issues. Then we finished it. Then we talked about the future of Zimbabwe.
So you went before the elections?
Yes, it was before. It was in July, end of July once.
And maybe your viewers would also want to know, what is it that you talked about Zimbabwe, about the elections? Were you talking about the winner? Were you talking? What is it that you're talking about?
Yeah, we were talking about the future and the current situation in Zimbabwe, the election thing. Like, remember, there was a certain time when the former President Mugabe, resigned. It was in December. There was a professor or something. I said what God was saying on Zimbabwe. When I said stop the elections, cancel the elections, and the people they
Went
talked.
ahead and
No, people they talked a lot of. They talked about it and said.
Oh, they didn't believe you.
Yeah, they didn't
Oh,
believe
okay,
in
yes,
saying
yeah.
we need elections. Why are you saying elections must be cancelled? But that's the first time when I said no, cancel the election. It's not good for Zimbabwe. And
Okay.
as you saw recently, some people died, and it was not a lot of happened during these elections. Even things right now is not all that okay in our country. So we advised that to stop the elections after the step down of the former president, President Mugabe. We advised Zimbabwe that it's not good for us for now to have elections. It's not conducive for us, but let it be cancelled and have it maybe after 2 or 3 years. For now, let all parties in Zimbabwe work together. That was our advice in December. So you proceeded with the election thing. Then I was invited in heaven.
Okay.
These people, they continued with the election. So let us leave them and do the elections.
Okay.
Because you were willing to
have the election.
elections.
So what is it for Zimbabwe now that they have had elections? Because as we have said now, the election, they are also in dispute. Someone is saying I've won, someone is saying no, I was cheated. What is the way forward for Zimbabwe?
Maybe your viewers would also want to know.
Okay, the problem now is things is not okay for our nation at the moment. And especially many Zimbabweans, they don't know where we are going, and Zvichazomira say so. That was our advice for that time, and we need to pray hard for our nation. Things is not okay. Yes, we can say the election process is over, but now we need the stability of the nation. The stability of the nation. The nation is not stable.
It's not stable.
It's not stable.
But
According to the measurement of heavily measurement.
But as God's advisor, did you ever make some efforts to go to the politicians themselves and say, this is what God is saying, or this is what the heavenly delegation is saying about Zimbabwe?
We tried all the efforts to reach all the people, but sometimes, there is a lot of protocols in our nation, because the laws does not permit the prophet to go direct to the president, because you must meet the president and sit down and you advise them, but you have some protocols. So the protocols, it may take long, and sometimes you'll be denied the access to see them. So we just used our platforms where we announce the things. But whenever I announce the things, what I know, it's automatically, it reaches all the people. That's what I know. But people remained adamant to listen to my advice as the heavenly delegate. So I was invited, and we discussed, and we say, okay, they continued with the elections. So, but I just say, okay, you can, because we have what we call the free will. The free will. If you choose this, if you want, if you are willing, we cannot stop you. It's your right. You do whatever you want. Even Adam, God said, do not eat this tree. And then Adam and Eve, they ate the fruit, and God just came for the judgment. So now we want to, maybe I will be invited to heaven very soon.
Okay.
I must go to heaven and hear what God will say about these elections, because we say this and the people continue. So now I want to hear what God will say after these elections. So I must visit heaven very soon again,
but
for another meeting.
I'm just reading from the comments. Some people seem not to believe you as well. Is it possible, now that you've said you're going back, is it possible to take one Zimbabwean or probably one politician to heaven, so that probably they can also be able to hear it from?
Okay. Yeah, these are spiritual things. You need to be first to be nominated. Like, okay, let me give example. We are all the Zimbabweans, and everyone is allowed even to become the Zimbabwean president, but we cannot all become Zimbabwean president at once. You wait your time. If God wants to invite you, He invites you in His time, not in the time of Prophet Madungwe. So we cannot all be the president of Zimbabwe, but we are going to have a president of Zimbabwe, one at the time, then after another one. So these are spiritual things. When God is inviting someone, is inviting someone to come and tell the people or the world what God is saying. So we cannot all go to heaven, or being said, let us bring a company. These are spiritual things whereby let us give me the example of Mary. The prophet was given, look, there shall be a surprise where a woman shall have a child. But when the time came, the angelic visited Mary only, not his husband. Mary, the wife who is going to carry the child. He never visited even Joseph, the husband. It was only the Mary. There was a certain time when Mary said, I want to divorce Mary because he have the pregnant. I don't know who is the father or who is this. Then the angel visited Joseph again. So mwari vanoshanyira munhu wavane chekuita naye kana kuti vanoinvita munhu wavane chekuita naye nokuti munhu wese kana vasina chekuita newe havakuinvite. So even the husband was excluded from the meeting. It was Mary and the angel. So Joseph was included later when he wanted to divorce Mary. So these are the protocols how God operates.
Okay, pane mari kubvunza paya pandofunga achangopinda manje anonzi Lizzie Mavura. And you were invited by who? Discussed with who?
I was invited by God and Christ and the heavenly delegates. Heavenly delegates were meaning all the heavenly angelic.
Okay.
That's heavenly delegates. The angels which runs the heavens. They invited me because they sit down first.
Okay.
They authorize the invitation.
Okay. In your meeting, when you discussing about the Zimbabwean election, did you discuss who the winner was going to be, or did you see spiritually who was going to win the 2018 elections?
Yeah, we talked about the election issues. Who shall win and Shafambase. We discussed it.
Okay, maybe for the benefit of Zimbabweans and voters, who won the elections? Because as of now, they are in court.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still a Zimbabwean and I'm still under the authorities of Zimbabwe. We are not allowed to disclose some of the who won because we are still in the court issues. So we need to wait for the
ruling of the
the ruling of the court, because we had even today it was arrested recently for announcing the election. So the law.
But you are God's advisor. Who can arrest you? When
no, I'm not saying I can be arrested, but it brings chaotic or instability of the nation. And the prophet will be saying this, and the Zek will be saying this. So it's the work of Zek. But we have many results. Or let me. So some we give, some we don't give. Many results.
Okay.
Many results. Tinema results I want this.
But on this,
Tine Ezek. So they must clarify which results they want. The one for the Zek or the one for the heaven. Okay, let me explain. Zek gives you. I heard it was 5 million who registered to vote in Zimbabwe. But in heaven, when we say we can give heavenly results, even the person who never voted, we count it. Even all the spoiled, we count it because we counted the heart. Which party do you like? Which party? So our heavenly results were something like 16 million people
voted.
Yes.
Okay.
16 million.
Okay, Prophet Madu. Let's not talk about the Zek results. Let's talk about the heaven results. Which one?
Well, people they want me to.
Yes, where
they want me. No, me I'm a neutral prophet because in our church I have many people who go to different parties. MDC, ZANU-PF, or other small parties. So we are not here to discriminate this party and this party because if I say this one, then if I say okay ZANU-PF won, then the MDC will never come to my church again. So for the security of the church, we don't pinpoint names. Even in heaven, we are not allowed to pinpoint names for the security reason of our spiritual things. Because after 1 year, I need to go and preach maybe to a ZANU-PF supporter or MDC supporter. Then I say this person is a party lost. So for the security of the church, we are not allowed to pinpoint names with this one, because it disturbs my ministry preaching. Some people will go to heaven because of that, because they say I will not follow that person because maybe like that, but no, we are a neutral because we are a church. Okay.
There are a lot of questions that are coming and a lot of comments that are coming, but there's one that everyone is still, posting about it. And he made person and it has always been said now and again. Can you just clarify on it? Because that guy should go to the hospital. uya ndikokomenti yacho Madungwe watanga futi hakuna kuti jairira vanhu man mwangoti oh please go deeper mwabati Rayston pastor please point to you dearly I need whatever it is that you are smoking where Abe mafuta vati fojika and it, people still don't believe you.
Okay, even there was a certain time when I said when you preach, you don't preach to your generation. You preach to the next generation. Noah came, he was preaching that God is going to send rain, and the people, they never believed. He built the ark with his family. And is it? But today, we are believing that Noah was right and he was sent from God. But his generation, he preached, but they never listened. So he preached to us who are now believing. So I'm not preaching to this generation. I'm preaching to the next generation. Even Christ never preached to his generation. Even Paul never preached to his generation because they imprisoned him, they killed him, even Jesus Christ, even the apostles, they did it. But today we are believing. So whenever a prophet is being sent, he's not sent to his people. Yes, he's preaching to them, but he's sent to the next generation. So after this generation, my message shall be vital, and the people shall accept me, and they shall say, this was a real prophet from God, and they will never say, I am drunk or on the put a porch or on the ready. So it's not a surprise. Noah was rejected, but he built the ark with his family, with his 3 children, and this they only lasted, but they managed to build the ark.
But they are now talking about it.
But
now
today we are reading that Noah was correct, but this generation, they never believe. So your generation will never believe, even if you try to convince them. Even Jesus Christ failed to convince him. That's why they crucified him.
Okay, what's your comment on what Prophet Madungwe is saying? He is saying, I am not preaching for this generation. That's why you are saying he's a mad person. That's why you are saying he needs to go to the psychiatric unit. But you, as of now, you are believing what Noah did. I just want to hear your comment so that you can also crush some of his point. Let me just read some of the comments. Nyasha Muroiwe says this guy suffers from Tsungumba syndrome. Tanaka Chisaya, heaven results in 16 million people voted war. Gladys Chaya Tafumane, slap that idiot. Rayston, Pastor, how many hearts did you count in Uzumba? You know, they are referring to the ZEC results. Yes. Quite a number of people voted in Uzumba, but they are saying in your heavenly result votes, how many did you count?
We almost counted everyone in Uzumba, but about the figures, sometimes we need the heavenly confirmation. Uzumba, we found this number, this because we never released the cities, or we have not yet released the cities results.
Oh, this one is just national. Or
yeah, we just give the 16 million.
Okay.
The national number, not the cities. The cities are not yet released.
Dudusindi Chimere, you do not here to you are not here to discriminate, but you are here for the truth. Father ichiwandira moyo masheti enyu munoasonera kupi. It's a question in Caroline Nyakujika, all finished dead by security of the church. Bashana, this guy must be banned. Banned by who and where? Albert Mafuta, this comedy gone wrong. Musatambe na Mwari Machinda. Where is it that we are going wrong? Because Prophet Madungwe, he himself is saying he is God's advisor. So should we ignore such a person, or should we also give him the platform to also be heard? Lizzie, is the population even 16 million? It's a question. Esther Mutsamba, this man is a joker. Politics in your church, sure. Vusumuzi Gumbo, Anzi for security of the church. Christine Mutsokoti, comedian. Makanaka Kuda, Ichkaimwari Akmana, Zakaoma. Let me go for some of Eric Mwale. I receive Papa Madungwe. Here. Frida Lovu, he is a good comedian. And you're a comedian, you're an actor.
Yeah, it can sound like that to them. Even when Jesus Christ was on earth, people were giving even a lot of names. Like, let me quote this one. When Jesus came, he was eating and drinking. You know, the wedding at Cana where he changed water to wine. Then people, they started to give him names like he's a glutton, a glutton, and then John the Baptist came again, and he was neither eating or drinking. Then they said he have a demon, he's demon possessed him. So the people, they just give him names because of what you're doing. So people are used to movies. So when they see someone who is saying, they see maybe he's a comedian, but I'm not a comedian. I never been trained even to be a comedian. I was trained to be a prophet.
Frida Lovu, Prophet Madungwe said he has never been trained to be a comedian, but he says you watch too much movies. How about Mafuta? But a prophet of God is not afraid of worldly powers.
Yes, we are not afraid of worldly powers. We, even if you see the prophets in the Bible, they were telling you God has anointed this person, God has anointed you to be a leader, not giving results.
Okay.
If you ever read that there was election in the Bible, elections is for the people, so we don't intervene in the earthly things like election, counting this. Because Zek it's not a heavenly department, Zek. So if you wanted it was a prophet who was supposed, like David was being anointed as the king of Israel, even so that the king of Israel, that's our duty as the prophet.
Okay.
Not saying Zek,
president of this country.
no.
Okay.
If it is a Zek issue, it's not our duty.
Okay.
Zek must do it because we work differently. The way Zek works and us David like it works. Because it's us when we wanted to anoint a king, it's us who say this. But when you go to vote, it's you who's going to vote for that person.
Okay. Lindiwen Lovu says, what's the name of your church?
Remnant Desire of All Nations Ministry.
Remnant Desire of All Nations Ministries.
Based in Harare.
What we also do is we also share with him his mobile number so that you can also call and talk to him. For some also who may have a lot of questions and also who doubt Prophet Madungwe, he is an open man. You can also call and talk to him. For us, we are just giving a platform to talk about him. Who ignore a man who says, I am back from heaven, when we have an opportunity to meet and talk to him and share his stories.
Okay. Last year we had the event where the Heavenly Army. Okay, let me explain a little bit that people, they will understand me better or they can get me clearly. In the Bible, Revelation chapter 20, we see the Satan's arrest. The Bible mentioned the Satan arrest for 1,000 years. So last June, the Heavenly Army, I'm the deputy Heavenly Army commander.
Okay.
I have many titles. Even
Yes,
I'm the world president.
Oh, okay, then I had forgotten that one.
I'm the heavenly doctor. I'm God's advisor. So, as the deputy heavenly army commander, we authorized our army to exercise the Satan arrest before that 1,000 Satan arrest, which is written in the Bible. So, we managed to capture the devil. We held him for 30 days. Then after that, we released him, but we reduced him in powers. But the devil normally resides in hell or Hades. The last part of the earth, because after the sea level or the water table, we go to Hades, where there is some forces, like those volcanoes, they erupt from that place. The Hades, it's a very bad area to be, where all the forces are being created. Then after that Hades place, that's where the devil resides and his thrones are. Then we go to the hell, which is the last part of the earth. But the devil does not reside there permanently. Sometimes you'll be visiting even earth, even some places, but his thrones are in Hades.
Okay.
But if you want to find him where he is, we just use the heavenly scanning machines of everything, or the heavenly army. It takes less than 2 days to identify where the devil right now is.
Okay.
To ask the heavenly army.
Okay.
It just takes some minutes or days to identify the place if we need him.
Okay. We go back to the comments. If Viriri Mwari can communicate via mapenzi. Zvese zvakataurwa na Grace Gaga zvakaitika. Gladys Cha, baba ava, I need that kind of confidence. Gush sound higher, Heavenly V11 not yet released. Shepherd mushapaidze psych patient. Ruru kuchiredzi makaona nzimbe dzine moyo here. Nigel tatenda mugodo rovai munhu guys chizunza Arnold asi chinhai munashe machia not yet released. Prophet akaoma TC Chivore. Prophet, who did you vote for?
Okay, that one is private. Even if the Zig says say it's your right and it's private. So being a prophet as well, kuti ndakumanikiza unzi taura kuti wakavhotera kana ati munhu wese anonzi it's your private. So we continue like that kuti even he knew it's my private and if I was ati ndakavhoterani chinofamba sei because the people they don't know that even a man of God needs private.
Okay.
You need private. So a boss of us wakavhoterani, it's your private. So even in heaven we are taught to keep privacy.
Okay. Kuti hama, thank you. I needed comic relief. Netsai shumba samaita Madungwe dai watsvaga Mwari. Duwe samaita Mwari uyai Madungwe atanga uye ane Demetria chaiyo nganovhenekwa. Liz Moyo, I am dead for days. Shepherd Chuma, please, I beg, this guy is insane. Munashe Machia, the interviewer anotorwarawo uyu. Thank you very much Munashe for your comment. I hope you have seen it well. Yokai Mutemaringa vabvunzei vamadungwe kuti chii chiri kuitika after court. Are we going for a rerun or what?
Okay, about that. About that, we have not yet discussed about the court issue because I was in heaven before the elections. We discussed some of the things. So about that, we have not yet discussed about it.
Okay.
Although we have some of the information, but we wait for the meetings first because we don't discuss things before the meetings.
Okay.
We discussed after the meeting. So when I will be invited to heaven, then I will know we are going to discuss. But what I can say now, things is not okay for our nation. We need to pray very hard for our nation. The nation is not stable at the moment. That's what I can say.
Vongani Nyati yabva yaenda message yake. Puromoyo ma message yake ari kupinda akawanda. Elizabeth Gwen, this guy is Satanist.
Yeah, I'm not the first person being like I said. Jesus Christ was saying being using the spirit of the devil, but he was the Son of God. So even Jesus Christ failed to convince the Israelites that he was the Son of God. So even as the prophet, we are still facing that problem that people are giving us wrong terms. I am a prophet, not a Satanist. That's why I'm called Prophet Madungwe. If I was a Satanist, I was just supposed to say Satanist Madungwe. Then I say. So people they must because how can you know that someone is a doctor unless he tells you that I am a doctor, I'm Dr. Ningi, like him. I said this is the person I know. So sometimes you need to ask him to who is this person? I am a prophet.
Okay.
And being a prophet, I don't need to be endorsed by people. I'm endorsed by God, not by people. So I am not afraid if someone comments me that I am a Satanist. I am not a Satanist, so I am not bothered about that.
Ko vana vangatoti interviewer kureva inini hanzi ndinotopengawo. Mungavaudze kuti chipa musoro pezvangu.
Okay, like vanhu havazivi vanhu vanopenga handidike. Munhu anopenga haaswera achigona kuti inonzi communication handidike.
Okay.
You cannot talk with a mad person handidike because anenge ati lost his brain handidike. He cannot even is able handidike. So if you see munhu achiti munhu ari all that right like you and me, we are doing the interview, it is flowing very well handidike. Then the person says we are made. That person somewhere is totally dangerous. How can you say munhu ari right ari kunzi anopenga?
Raystone says I need directions to your church. Answer directions to church.
Okay, tinowapa the number then they ask.
Okay. The number will be on the screen shortly. Then you call him and you will also get the directions. Let him say it so that you know this is Prophet Madungwe who said his number. Prophet.
Okay.
Taurai number.
Yeah, this is our number. The church line is 0776 23 11 1156. Let me repeat again. 0776231156. Then you ask everything there, the services, it depends.
Hanzi na man love uyu mutumwa wa Satani chaiye ndofunga mambo ipindura pamusoro apo. Precious Kwanele Sevanda, when are you losing weight? Why are you losing weight? Were you not eating in heaven?
I'm not losing weight. I'm just Zhandai from since 2016 when I appeared to the media and everything. Asandambochinja ndo Zhandai izvozvo. Maybe arikuona sendakadzikira but andisandadzikira Zhandai. I'm just a slim person and I remain slim.
Even band mchungosunga pamayisungira
ipa. Yes, was I like
okay.
This body was ndiita kuti I can operate the way I know that. Was a slim body is a good body that to be fit out. Unaweza kufamba even kama deputy villain commander ndizvo zvakawanisa ndaita pedei saka I need a slim body and I like this body.
Wadzitigere she says he needs to be sectioned. Mental health problems are real. He needs what? 21 kwete izvi. Gladys cha imika ichaunosi shumba vakomanaka let my future watama vakomana ichkai mwari John Trimunyasha mwerenji papa you are too much. Caroline Mujenya kudya. On a serious note, this is mental illness, guys.
Okay. The problem with this generation, like I said, I don't preach to this generation, but I preach to the next generation. We see in the Bible, I'm the first person to visit heaven. Even Christ went to heaven. Even Enoch went to heaven. Even Apostle Paul from the Bible. If we read the Bible from the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 2 or from 1, we hear Paul mentioning, I know a certain man who was caught in heaven 14 years ago. He was referring himself. He visited heaven 14 years ago. He said, whether in body or in spirit, but I know a certain man who was caught in the third heaven in paradise. He was caught in the third heaven. And so whenever, so the problem with our generation in the Bible, if someone experienced that event and they say akuna zvakadaro because they want to read it kunzwa kuti pondi yakaenda kudenga kadzoka kanopinda mu third heaven, but wenguva yavo akataura kuti ndakaenda kudenga kadzoka unonzi anopenga anozoti zvakati anditika. That's the problem with people because they believe kuti Mwari akashandisa vanhu vekare kwete isusu. So vakasara vanhu vakasara,
right. For those that are commenting and sharing their views, Prophet Madungwe is saying you don't believe him because he is not preaching for this generation, but for now you are believing what is written in the Bible about. He gave an example of Noah building the ark, but he is saying people of that time never believed him. Please, let's try to argue with facts from what Prophet Madungwe is saying and what you know and what you have read. We have heard this statement that is a mad person. We have heard this person that is a mental person. He needs to be sectioned. Yes, we have heard about it. He has commented about it. But please try to respond to what he is saying. He is saying you don't believe him, but there will come a generation that will believe him. Can we have some comments on that? Let me read another comment from Donald Muchairi. Shamari ya Satani. Rayston, you were in heaven for election. Saka pastor didn't vote. Rejoice Samuel, this is not a prophet. You don't need to access heaven for God to speak to you. Kuda kutuka profitai kamunu wa Mwari. Valerie Mash, prophet seems not to know anything about zvese zvaari kubvunzwa. Andizoti mubvunzo wamanyanya kubvunzwa musina kuzopindura ndeupi.
Okay, but every question I am answering, Saga, I don't know why he's saying in Rutadza kupindura kana kuti he's not seeming, but I am answering zvese, even giving the scriptures which I am not the first person to visit heaven. Even other people visited heaven, even like my issues anonzi Satan arrest ndikavaudza kuti even in the Bible tine 1000 years Satan paachasungwa. Saka why these people are not believing, even kana yeah the issue of like kuti Mwari vanokushanyira God is a visit. Even in the Garden of Eden Mwari vaishanya every day kuna Adam kusvika Adam azotadza Mwari vakazoreka kuuya, but every day vaitouya vakazotadza Mwari vachiti Adam uri kupi, Adam uri kupi, kanzi Mwari mukadzi wamakadini. God was on earth, but nhasi munhu akanga achiti Mwari vakandishanyira like that 2016 Mwari vashanya. Vanhu vanoti hakuna zvinhu zvakadaro because especially kana ukaita munhu mutema, vanhu vatema vanonyanya kutenda murungu. Saka muchiona even our nation was colonized by the whites because they believed the whites kuti they are better people than us.
Okay.
So nhasi munhu akabva kuAmerica achiparidza, they believe
Chechinozara
kuti murungu achiparidza because they believe kuti zvinhu zvese zvinoitwa nevarungu, especially the black people. That's the problem. That's why even our continent ichisarira because we believe kuti zvese zvinogonekamwa nevarungu. Murungu nhasi akanga achiti varume ndakaenda kudenga, mese munopfugama pavanhu kuti ndizvo because ganda jena rika, but ganda serenyu rikauya richiti varume zvakadai zvakadanzi hakuna zvinhu zvakadaro. Zvavana kuti even mwana wamai vako akaita mufundisi akati varume Mwari varikuti zvakati, unokuti hakuna takakura naye tinomuziva. That's the problem with the people handitika. Because I'm a Zimbabwe unonzi because kwavari instead unoti I get some people as far as America. Today Zimbabwe is blessed to have such a prophet.
Okay.
Saka unonzi pachishona vanoti mute kwanzinoremerera amino
for the viewers, can you also argue on what Prophet Madungwe is saying? He is saying, if I was a white person, if I was someone coming from either America or Europe, you were going to at least believe him. But because 1, he is black, 2, he is Zimbabwean, 3, he is African, you don't want to believe him. What is your comment on that? We have heard about that Anopenga, we have heard about nurses commenting about his condition, but please, let's also stick to what he is saying so that we can have an informed debate. As you have saying, he may be what you are saying, but let's also argue on what he is saying. Let's have those comments from what he is saying so that we go forward. Donald Muchairi, hazvina kunaka izvi. Munashe Machia, Prophet mapindura mubvunzo uyu handei pa next. Sukumoyo Mackenzie, in the end days people will say such lies on FB. Ziada Raden, which airline did you use? I think, which airline did you use to go to heaven?
Okay, when you go to heaven, you don't use airlines.
Okay.
Because every plane, it comes maybe from Zimbabwe to America. It's not going to heaven. There is no, at the moment, we don't have any plane which is coming from earth to heaven. So it's automatically out of the question. We don't use earthly things. When you go to heaven, it's either you disappear or you disappear and appear in heaven. The moment you disappear on earth, you automatically appear in heaven, but you'll be transfigured first, like Jesus was transfigured on the Matthew chapter 17. He was changed. Even after his death, he was changed from physical body to spiritual body or the angelic body. The body, that's why you hear when Peter in the room, he was entering even on the walls because angava ne spiritual body. Saka inika nandichenda ndinopinda mu spiritual body. And I'm spiritual body, my angelic, I disappear and I appeared in heaven, or I can be helped by angelics to enter heaven. Okay. In heaven. Heaven is suspended in the air. After the blue level does not even heaven. Okay. After the heaven, you go, there is another spiritual realms there. You go above. It's like another planet. When you go there will be gates. Gates, they will be opened. It's another planet. But like there was a certain time when I said we want to stop the sun, and the sun is suspended in air, but it is hanged to heaven. Moon is suspended in air, but it is hanged in air. So recently there was a moon eclipse and solar. So the nature department of heaven was doing some nature departments, and they are changing of the positions of the. Then it responded as the solar eclipse here on earth. So these things are suspended in air. Heaven is suspended in air, but it is hanged or connected to God. So when you enter to that, you go through the spiritual realms, then gates will be opened, you go to the first heaven. So I appear and disappear, or I use the angelic, not planes or buses or this is not earthly thing. It's the spiritual things we use. We don't mix the spiritual things and earthly things.
Hanzi natakura George Hove shamwari tisiye tiite makomendi atinoda. Hatina kuti musaise macomments tati. Why is it you are not responding to also his issues? You have posted some comments, I have read, he has responded. He has also read some issues. I am saying simply respond to some of his comments. Courage says kotrangirai aripi kudenga o gehena. Elisha Pfute kudenga maidya here anzi maidya here kudenga.
Let me say this, in heaven they eat. Even in the Bible it is there. If you read the Bible clearly, you heard that during in the wilderness manna is bread. It's white bread, but it's very sweet. Manna rained from heaven. Changa chiri chingwa chakatoneka kudenga vana veIsrael vakadya. So angelic ane chikafu chawo chavanhu chikabva chakasiyana nechipi like manna. Saka isusu earth is a photocopy of heaven. So zviri kuita pano zviri kudenga. Even if you read the book of Revelation, you hear that there is rods and I saw them, but they are just built with gold. We will use tara and stones, but in heaven they use pure gold. So earth is a photocopy of heaven. What is in heaven is here on earth. Like God said, let us create a man on our own image. Then Adam was created on earth.
Okay.
But Adam was in the class of God. But God was in heaven, then Adam was on earth. So what is in heaven is also on earth. Hapana chisiri kudenga chisiri pano panyika. Zviri pano panyika zviri kudenga. Ma minerals esamoshandisa ari kufuta kudenga.
Okay. Zebi Mironzi, are you married, Prophet?
Yes, I'm both married and single.
What does that mean?
Okay, this is what it means. Okay, I live both.
Of Jesus Christ. Tell him to keep on praying. Jesus loves him. At the end of the day, no one is perfect in the eyes of the Lord. Alfred Maesi, vari paHarare Gardens, opposite Girls High School. That's very true. No rest Gwande, Mativo Mutumwa, makavaudza here zviri kuitika kwamakabva. Sheila havana ring, so maybe he is single and searching. He has responded to that. Timothy Moyo, prophets on court application, then we can believe in you. He has responded to that. Maba im endai ku America kwacho. So Kumoyo Mackenzie, Murungu is a child of God too, so why use them as examples? Bevan Nyati just said never. Munashe Machia, interviewer, ita serious. Thank you. I'll try to be. Dewama Vinga, which prophecies by Madungwe came true? Give us examples, please.
Okay. The problem, people, they don't really follow us, but we have prophesied in many events like this, the solar eclipse. We managed to give the message. Even I was on Power FM.
Okay.
They were asking me about that. Then we said it before. Like I said, the nature department of heaven was on some operation. They were moving the sun and everything. We notified the world before the day, and I was called by the Power FM before. It was 2 days before. Although there was another pastor who claimed that that is the day, the end, the earth ending. Then we confirmed it. Nyika isati yakuparara ipapo. So inye kuti munhu anenge asingatifollow, because kana usingatifollow apa hauna chaunonzwa. You need to be our follower. Because then you know, like that one, the solar eclipse which recently happened. I prophesied about that. Then okay. I was on the radio. We even answered the people to know pasi kuparara nyika inda ina kuparara.
Asingoti vana vakuteerera.
But zvakazadzikiswa nyika yakaparara. They can ask Chambari.
Okay, let's go back
of the Power FM.
Handiti.
Kuti atine utaura kataura zvese tikatovaudza. Saka vanhu vanoti tiri kutaura zvinhu zvakaitika recent. Havana a month zvaitika.
Okay.
Tikazowadza zvokuma 2016 maybe takutaura zvavasingazi. Tiri zvakaitika.
Zvakaitika, handiti.
Vanyanya kuti vanhu vasingati follow or havazi kuti how to follow us. Ukava a follower yedu cheche. Unozonzwa zvese hapana chatinga update chinoitika. Mwari havana chavanoita panyika vasina kuudza vaprofita.
Okay.
Zvinotanga zvakwatiri isusu.
Handiti. Priska Sharon Murwira, Bob, I fear kuti maybe you are going insane too. Siana Namadungwe, please. Yeukai Mutemaringwa. Shame, please guys, stop insulting him. Timothy Moyo, prophets on Zimbabwe court application. Then we believe you. 90% of his prophecies haven't come true. Bright Roma, people believe in talking donkeys and snakes, but you calling this man mad. If he was white, you would believe him. Timothy Zvenyika is a liar. Akuna munhu anoenda kunoenda. Nomampofu Msipa, can he please narrate his journey? Rufaro Joy Madzima, it's not about race or where he comes from. I prefer going to Wisiri than your celebration center. But what is going on here is a joke. David Richigwe, interviewer wakamirawo ayavenda. Rodrick Mashingaidze, Sly munodeiko pampengo uyu. Rodrick, I will not respond to that because also people watch where you also do your work as well. I don't know why they watch your station as well. Onisimo Mute, please ask that guy what he is doing for the poor and the old people in his community.
Yeah, we are having those programs. Like in our church, we have what we call NAID department, Nations Aid. We have what we call paid department, People's Aid department, where we see there is, or where we see it is necessary for us to chip in or to help the poor. We help the widows, we help the poor, we help everyone. We have many people we have helped. Even if they want healings, we can help with them. If they want food, we can help with them. Chatakwanisa as a church, so we are helping the people.
Robson Augustine, God is watching you. The above Achaku Rangaichete Duve. It's a message. Brian's Tinashe Mtarisi Mukoma Masimba Tugudayo interview with him. Ngoni, can prophet disappear now alive?
Okay, disappearing. Okay, let me explain this. When we are using the system of disappearing and appearing, normally when I disappear, I'll be in the holy lands. We have what we call holy places, like my prayer mountain, my prayer house, the holy places where spiritual things are being conducted or done. Because not every place is a holy place. Okay. And even when God visits, even my angelic, one of my holy places are meeting. So disappearing, even Jesus Christ when he was transfigured and it disappearing, even when the paragraph and I can go to a special place and then he comes back and so transfiguration now where he went to a mountain, then he was transfigured. So it's not about it, but even transfiguration. No, there are some places very holy. So those places, that's where you need to be. And it is.
Okay. With Prophet Madungwe, you can spend the whole day talking, you can spend the whole day arguing, you can spend the whole day calling him names. Your last words to your viewers.
Okay, these are the spiritual things. You need to be in the spirit, or you need the Spirit of God to be in you for you to discern. It's not about being like a novel where you shall just read and then you understand. These are spiritual things. It was written by the Spirit, and we do things in the Spirit. So if you don't have the Spirit, sometimes we have what we call levels of the spirits. Like Jesus Christ was fully in the Spirit, then he was led into the mountain. So sometimes when I got 10% spiritually, then you want to come in above him. So these are spiritual things. So that one are mature. And even let me quote another verse before I finish. 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 16. Peter anoti zvakutaura namukoma Paul hatichazvinzwisisi, zvimwe zvacho it's above our understanding, but akabva kuna Mwari chimugamuchirai. So the problem ndeyekuti pakauya anoziva kukudarikai munomuti anopenga, instead kuti mugamuchire kuti no, zvamuri kutaura isu hatizvizivi, tizivise kuti kudenga kwacho kwakaita sei, because hapana kambosvika kudenga, but people they crush me or they give me names, but havasati vambosvika kudenga kwacho. Saka zviri ndani vatombouyiwo vabvume kuti vari matisati tasvika kudenga, ndimi akasvika kudenga kwacho, chimbotiudzaiwo kwakamira sei, kana kuti zvinoitwa sei kuti uende, unogona kutotirwa nyasha ukaenda dhani kushora madungwe wacho. Saka that is the problem with the people, kuti havagamuchiriwo umwe munhu zvaitika pari. Saka nditi zvakaitika pandiri hazvina kuitika pavari, saka no one must say hakuna zvinhu zvakadaro, because hazvina kuitika paari. Saka unoziva sei kuti hazvina kuitika wanga usiripo pazvakaitikira pandiri. But let us pray for our nation. Vanoda munotibata tozovaexplainira panhamba dzapiwa 0776231156. Munonyatsobvunza tinokupinduraiwo muchizofollowa kuti maprograms edu anodi anofamba sei pawhatsapp kana macalls kana matext zvese. Handiti kana usinganyatsonzwisisa Twitter time niyo, kana kuti unobhuka one on one wouya ndonyatsogara newe pasi tokudzidzisa tokuzivisa zvoitwa sei, tokunamatira kana une dambudziko, because vamwe vachitoda deliverance, vane vari totally possessed, because vari kutorwisa basa ramwe vanotoda deliverance yakatosimba choti vanamatira tovaita out chaivo. Saka tinotenda Mwari. May God bless you.
On Prophet Madungwe, I will not add or edit what he has said. That's why we bring him live at Sly Media. We say building bridges. Join us again with him next time if he has something new. For now, bye-bye. Ayo, vanongoma kuti havanhiri havapinduri vamwe nyeusi.